Mark is going to show you how to make a great dish for families on a budget, and who's not on a budget these days. And you know, this is great for you single guys out there too, if you want to impress your date. Yes, you can cook. Let's prep our vegetables. We have a rather large onion. We got some garlic. We have some ginger. That's one of the secret ingredients to this, ginger. And we have a box of Kine mushrooms. So let's take our onion, slice off the ends, cut it in half. And be careful of your fingers. I'm a guitar player, so I gotta really watch my fingers. Okay, peel off this outer skin. These come in handy, these plastic bags. And we'll just slice away. We got 5 cloves of garlic here, and I'll just demonstrate on one of them. So you take your clove of garlic, you get the knife and you pound it like that to get the skin off of it, and you're left with a smashed piece of garlic. And you can, if you want, you know, cut off that bitter end here, this little thing, and then dice the rest up. Once again, watch your fingers if you have a really sharp knife. This knife is a Japanese knife that my mom had, so I guess I've inherited this. It's actually a molybdenum steel, and the brand is Madame Knife, but it is made in Japan. Very good knife. This is a box of cremini mushrooms. I think it's 8 ounces, and you know, all you have to do really nowadays, they're pretty clean. So I just rinse them, and then I'm going to cut them into thirds. Some people say you shouldn't really rinse them, you should brush them, but I think that's too much trouble. I just rinse them. This recipe is my mother's recipe for cream of mushroom, pork chops, and she also did the same thing for chicken. And her secret ingredient was ginger. I'm going to cut rather large pieces of the ginger lengthwise and sort of pound it in the back a little bit just to release some of the ginger juice. And I'll throw it into the mix of the gravy while the pork chops are braising. And this way, if people don't want a big hunk of ginger in their mouth, they can remove it. I'm using this peeler that I got from the blood bank of Hawaii when I donated blood. They used to give things like this before. I wish they still did. Okay, this is Greek blue sea salt that I got courtesy of Misty, also known as Food Fiend Hawaii. And you know, she brought this back from her trip to Greece, and I want to say a big mahalo to Misty for this. You don't have to use this kind of salt. You know, any salt, you know, iodized salt, or you know, if you have a grinder, you could put Hawaiian salt pakai, and you know, just season your pork chops with this. Freshly ground black pepper. And then what I do is I lightly dust these chops with all-purpose flour. It's really good because you know, when you brown something, it does it pretty quickly, and then you can use the same thing to you know, once you drain some of the oil out, to braise it, because it'll retain the heat, and you can turn the actual stove heat down. You don't have to do it that way. You know, you can brown the meat and then put it in the oven, put it in a pan, put it in the oven, maybe 375 to 400 degrees. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to not quite pan fry and not quite deep fry. So we'll put in, maybe about that much oil, and we'll start browning the pork chops that have been lightly dusted in flour. And this way, they'll have a nice crust to it. You always want to put it in on one side, and then away from you, you lay it down. Quite a bit of oil rendered out of the chops, so there was a lot more than I thought it'd be. That's all right. So what's going to happen after we take these out of here? We're going to put the vegetables in, and then we're going to turn the fire down, because we're going to add some water. And if you've ever added water to hot oil or any kind of liquid, it's kind of a dangerous situation. You don't want things splashing around in that hot oil. Okay, you see all those little crusty bits down there? That's good stuff, so you just leave that in there. But I've removed more of the oil, and yeah, this is quite a bit came out. But what we're going to do is add the vegetables. They're going to cook a little bit, and then we'll add some water, and then the cream of mushroom soup, and then we'll sort of throw the chops in there and sort of stir them around. And by the way, be careful if you're using this type of Dutch oven, because it is exposed metal and it will get rather hot. That's why you're going to use an oven mitt when you handle it. Okay, so we're going to turn the heat down. We're going to cover it first, and we'll turn the heat down and let it go, and come back in about an hour. Maybe we'll make some rice. It's been about halfway through, and it's looking pretty good. Well, it's a moment of truth. I've tested it. It's pretty much fork tender. So we'll plate it and give it a try. Tender, tasty. Came out very good. Broke the mouth ono. Quick little roundup. You know, this is a really good dish to make if you're on that budget. Like I said, you know, this will feed with 5 pork chops. It'll feed a family of 5, or maybe 4 if somebody is really hungry. And you know, even with rice and oh, by the way, I did eat my vegetables. This is Sumida Farm watercress, and with all of that, I think it comes out to about $5 to $6 per serving. I'll put something up to show what the summary is. But you can do this with pork chops. You can do it with chicken. You know, sometimes the chicken thighs, they go on special. You can do the same method to cook those. I have about 3 chops left from the 8 in the package, and I might make something like braised shoyu style pork chops, maybe Korean style. You add a little sesame oil and some chili pepper flakes in there too, with some shoyu, mirin, brown sugar, ginger again, and that will be ono too. I like braised style because it's nice and tender and juicy, almost fall off the bone. You don't want it to fall off the bone. You just want it to be nice and tender. You still want a little bit of chew. So again, kids, if kids are watching this, do this for your folks. Surprise them, But be careful. Once again, you don't want to cut your fingers off. as you're slicing the vegetables, or maybe get mom or dad to help you, and you know, fire up the stove. Be careful when you're doing that, when you're actually cooking on the stove. But it's relatively simple, yeah, everybody, because it's so expensive to eat out nowadays. So I want everybody to enjoy good food and to be happy. Aloha, aloha no. Take care.